So okay, so we're gonna move on to the Tyler1 or the Tyler1 versus Acadian VOD, and it's gonna be Buzz Lightyear 99. We're gonna view him and we're gonna see how he actually out jungles Acadian. So again, watching the lanes, let's take a look at what's happening here. Okay, so looking at the lanes in top lane, we have Teemo versus what's his name, Maokai again. The reason why, the legendary Buzz Lightyear 99 stance starts on the left-hand side is because there's no value off hitting Teemo at level 3 or level 2. So, especially against Maokai, right? Maokai can easily fall behind 10 CS, 15 CS, and he'll still be okay. If Maokai falls behind 30 to 45 CS, then obviously Teemo starts to win the game. And this is because Maokai as a champion has more utility than the Teemo early on, obviously, right? Or moving after moving out of the lane phase. Teemo can get really good lane states if Teemo ends up controlling wave 1, which he does. So Teemo essentially controls wave 1, wave 2, and he gets control of wave 4, and this is really good. And if Teemo gets control of wave 4, it's going to take Acadian to actually try to break top lane in order for Maokai to try to get any form of control. But by the time that happens, Acadian will be on the right-hand side by the time waves 5, 6, and 7 end up occurring. And so Teemo actually controls majority of the lane early on. Obviously, it is a range versus melee, and he's running Ignite, so it's pretty scary. Again, in mid lane, it's the Wolf's Claw. I've seen this guy in solo queue. He's a pretty good mid laner. It's Rumble versus Syndra. Against Syndra, very strong champion. Rumble does have some level of control early on against Syndra. But again, it is more of a skill matchup where if Olaf finds proper angles against Syndra, then it just becomes really good for Rumble, and Rumble can really turn the matchup around. And it's vice versa is also true, where if Syndra, or Demonte in this case, ends up getting leads against Wolf, it's just going to be a lot scarier for Rumble, and so mid can really sway in really both angles. Again, back into bot lane, we have Ezreal and Yuumi, one of the two bot lanes. It is very strong, however, isn't really going to do much against Twitch Janna. So bot lane, kind of a farming, really 4v4, and the fact that even setup wise, Ezreal doesn't have CC, can't really set up. Yuumi pre-6 can't really do anything. Janna is available even after 6. Janna can just kind of disrupt Yuumi, and it's just really difficult for anything to happen. So we're going to see Tyler1 along with Acadian mostly play inside of the left-hand side of the map. In this case, that there's going to be very little action down in bot lane. Okay. Again, Acadian ends up starting onto the right-hand side, and this is again, the lanes aren't very good for either of the junglers, but it's not so bad because Acadian does end up getting control against Teemo if Teemo ends up pushing up. And against, maybe Acadian starts on the right-hand side because Teemo may push up. And if Teemo doesn't play wave 1 and wave 2 properly, and he doesn't buffer on 3 and bounce on 4 or 5, if he bounces on 5, it's over. He loses. If he bounces on 4, there's still, it's still okay. And then obviously Tyler1 ends up winning out, so it's okay for that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start. Both junglers end up starting on the opposite angles. I think a full clear here is completely fine. I don't know why he pauses. Fucking just hurry up. Okay. Actually, let me play this in a little, like, ×2 speed, because this is going to be very, very slow. Okay, so Tyler1 ends up taking the Gromp here. And obviously, going into Wolves, doing a full clear here is completely fine because there's no efficiency in bot lane. There's no efficiency in top lane for Acadian either. So both junglers should just try to maximize their XP and levels by simply full clearing, and waiting for really the first thing that may happen would be in top lane. It seems like Teemo actually ends up giving away control early on against Maokai, and the wave is bouncing back into Teemo. Not bouncing back, but coming into Teemo here. And Teemo, I think, does have a freeze. Again, this is very obnoxious to look at because I can't see exactly what's happening in the lanes, but we're going to go off of whatever, I suppose. Again, yep, Golems is completely fine. Again, I don't know what Tyler1 is looking at, so it's hard for me to actually evaluate like what he's thinking. Going down bot lane isn't going to ever work. Scuttle Crab, yep, this is all very simple. And now at this point, you can just look into mid lane and try to get a gank off. And again, relative to the minion wave, right? So let's say that, okay, again, fucking Christ, I can't see what is happening with the wave. Which wave is this? Okay, wave 3 comes along. Scuttle, wave 4 is coming. This is wave 4 at the moment. Okay, so now, essentially, if the mid laner... If Rumble essentially has a light freeze against Syndra, and there are more reds than blues in this case, Tyler1 should actually delay his recall, and he should just go like this. Hit Syndra, not in the intentions to kill her, but to get Wolf a proper lane state to actually find Syndra and potentially even kill her, or blow her teleport. If Tyler1 just shows up in mid lane and chunks out Syndra, he has nowhere to be. Gromp is not going to spawn anytime soon. He's going to recall and he's going to make it in time for Gromp. Not to mention, he can easily look at the lane state up in top lane, and he can go like 1 into potentially defend, recall, back to our left side jungle where Gromp would be respawning, and that's also when Acadian will be back onto the right hand side. And there's no effective gank potential in bot lane because of the fact that all 4 of the champions in bot lane don't really want to fight each other, or not. They can't. They have very poor early gank setup, right? And so if this guy just goes into mid lane and says hi to Syndra, he can just simply go back up into top lane like this. Not contest Scuttle, because the Scuttle will be gone by the time he's on the left side river. But he can potentially protect Teemo if a dive is possible. If a dive isn't possible, then we can simply just recall and go back to the left-hand side without having any issues. Okay. Twitch is bugged. I don't know what's going on with that. 0 seconds watching. I don't know, guys. Whatever. Anyways. So, okay. So, recalls, again, doesn't find Syndra. I don't know why he doesn't. There's no incentive. Like, again, what the hell are you doing now? Stop recalling. Go. Like, just go. Recalls for no reason. This is a waste of time. Okay, doesn't even evaluate how bot lane is looking. Again, same concept. If we can just show up in bot lane and we can chunk out the Twitch or the Janna, then we end up getting complete control. Ezreal, Yuumi gets complete control of the lane, and they can sway the lane in their favor. In this case, mid lane is more beneficial because there's more reds than blues. If you just show up, her lane phase is over. She's forced to recall and teleport back. This guy's forced to this guy can then control the lane because he's full HP. Then you win off because you have TP advantage, and this allows you to then make plays in bot lane. Because by the time that this lane bounces outwards and bounces back in, this is also when Yuumi, not Janna, can place wards, and this is where you can then establish a 4-man, because this is also the same time when the right-hand side camps for Tyler1 are going to be back up. Right? Yeah. I'm reading Twitch chat as we go, by the way, so if you guys have any questions, I'm looking at you guys type, and then I'm going back to the VOD here. What do you think about Annie? Okay, we're not gonna answer that right now. All right, so yeah, all right. Anyway, so he ends up showing just fucking go, man. Okay, now you can, because now he ends up showing, but whatever. It's just so late. Tyler is just so late to the actual jump, and now he just paths back into the left side Gromp. Again, Acadian pings out that Tyler1 is going to be back on his left hand side, which is very obvious because it's the only camps that are going to be respawning, and we're not actually going to hit top lane because it doesn't give us any efficiency. And it seems like now the 6th wave ends up arriving. And we know this is the 6th wave because we see mid laners recalling here. So we know that the challenger mid is not going to recall on a non-cannon unless he did something weird. And this, again, is the 7th wave coming in. As you can see, not a cannon. This is wave 7, which means that now wave 7 arrives. And now we can play off of wave 8 and wave 9 in the future moments in the game. This is very like non-interactive jungle, this is really good recall timing, but actually no, it's not. This is actually really bad by the enemy bot because they end up losing. So now what ends up happening here is they actually just lost tempo on wave 7, right? Meaning that now Ezreal and Yuumi can shove out wave 7, recall, and wave 8 and 9 come back into them, and that's really bad for them, and now they have control of the lane. So Twitch and Janna end up a little bit off tempo, but it's not the end of the world there. Again, Tyler1 not playing with his lanes, which is just a big problem. The Acadian starting Dragon here is actually okay because of how mid lane and bot lane are looking. And this, again, Tyler1 can't do anything about it. Jesus, he just flashes out. Again, this is just really weird, right? Because what do we have? We see that we see Demonte in mid lane, the Syndra player. He just subbed in the wave. So he just shoved in wave 8. Meaning that obviously he's going to have priority. He's going to move into river first. We see that bot lane is recalled. We know that our bot lane can't really respond. And so Tyler1 staying here is just so fucking weird, man. Like, you're playing from a blue side terrain. Why are you blowing flash? Look at this shit. You're never going to find a opportunity when playing from blue side. Red side dragon takes are too easy to take when mid lane is pushed in and bot lane is in, actually bot lane lost tempo, but it works out because Acadian actually ends up using the lack of tempo in bot lane to end up taking Dragon, and this is really good. But Tyler1 staying here is just fucking really int. This is just really weird. Like, what are you expecting to happen? Syndra is level 6. He's level 5. Like, it makes no sense as to why you would do this. You're going to force a recall. You could even just go into the left side jungle if you know that Dragon is being taken. And you can maybe just look at top lane, evaluate how Maokai is playing the lane. Or you can just get vision around the Raptors, right? But this is all just really, really poor play. Ends up flashing out and loses the Dragon, which is fine, whatever, right? Now has to path back up to the Gromp camp, which then Acadian is going to match with his Raptors. And this ward that, whoa, that's pretty cool. Look at that. What the fuck? That was unnecessary, okay. Like, I thought something was going to happen. Okay. Cool. Alright. Like, what the fuck? Alright. This is some HD gameplay. Man, imagine they showed this while he was doing the Syndra 1v1. Like, holy shit. That would have been something to watch. And Acadian back on Raptors. Acadian knows that Tyler1's right side camps are going to respawn soon, and this is where the jungle could actually become a little more interactive because the camps are somewhere. They're actually they're two-way split, and we know that Acadian's on the left-hand side of the map because it's the only other place he could really be. Oh, this is such a boring matchup. It's just farming. Season 10 jungle, by the way. Season 10 jungle with that lane with lanes that don't need ganks, like that can't establish ganks, is just obnoxious, man. Why is Acadian on the left-hand side? Because if he doesn't go on the left-hand side, Tyler1 will hit him. If there is okay, so if Acadian doesn't end up showing on the ward, and Acadian ends up opting to go into blue buff like this for that, first of all, the handoff would be inefficient because Syndra is taking a recall in wave 9 or wave 12. Like, I literally lost track because of that fucking seizure we just had to go through. And so the blue handoff would be extremely awkward, and on top of that, what would end up happening is if he does end up going like this, and Syndra does show with blue buff, let's say she doesn't end up getting the recall off, it would put the mid laner off of tempo, and then it would allow Tyler1 to move into the Raptor camp, unless this guy moves in, but with Smite, it would just be pretty much too late. So that's why Acadian opts to go onto the left-hand side first. This is a classic NA solo queue jungle game, where we're just farming, nothing is really happening. Oh, this is more boring than fucking watching Season 5 LCS. At least someone was getting destroyed. Now it's just like, nothing is happening. Yep, now we're just waiting. This is just, okay, well. We're doing red. Yep, that's bad. You can't do that. You can't just do that. I mean, I guess you can show here, I suppose. Yep, this is going to be a fight. Yep. The Teemo misplays. That's rip. And now, this is really good by Tyler1. This is really, really nice by Tyler1. Yep, gets the kill. And now, at this point, like, go bot. Like, evaluate bot lane. Stop. Like, okay, shove and go bot. Like, what the hell's going on here? Okay, what's happening? Syndra's on a 25-second cooldown, right? So, kill it and then go bot. What are you doing? Yeah, go bot. Okay, bot lane moves up. That's fine. Bot read it pretty well. Tyler1 has to back off here. Okay. Again, this doesn't really give us like, why are you doing the Raptor camp? This doesn't really give us value, right? The reason this doesn't give us value because relative to Lee Sin's CS, which is in this case 58, we don't gain value off of this camp, right? If Lee Sin opts to go like this, then we take Scuttle. Okay, we get vision denial here, whatever. If Lee Sin opts to go like this, like, that's not going to be possible because we're already going to get the jump on the left-hand side. We should know he's still going to farm this, and we can easily just path down like this, match Lee Sin's camps on the left-hand side, wait for Teemo to shove the lane, and if Acadian opts to hit Teemo at level 1, or not level 1, I should say level 1, on the pushback against Maokai, We match that with Wolves, Gromp, path back down to our right side. This is also the same time we can just take our Raptors and then do Golems, right? Maybe just recall. If he wants to recall on this, I mean, he's not recalling. It's just really odd that he does this. The clear doesn't really give us value. It's just clearing to clear, and that doesn't really give it. It's not good. Yep, we don't actually make use of the tempo advantage we have. Oh, man, this is so boring. Like, I want to see an actual, like... Yep, Acadian's up in top lane. This is all fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing here. It's just farming. They're just trying to efficiently farm, and at this point, just pick Karthus. Okay, Dragon here is fine. Yep. I mean, yeah, just do Dragon. Good. So, Tyler1 actually playing this not bad. I mean, early on, he's kind of not playing it. Okay, well, bot lane's okay, then. What the fuck was our Ezreal doing? What are you doing? Hello? Freeze bot lane. Oh, Ezreal wants to reset. How low is he? He's no mana. Okay. Okay, it just seems like Tyler1's bot lane is just better. Or Acadian's bot lane is just straight better. But that's okay. Yep, I mean, Ezreal gets tempo. Ezreal can just shove. And Acadian ends up taking a free Rift Herald. Yep, and now, like, okay, here we should just match. You don't do Raptors. Holy Christ. Okay, this is, again, Tyler1 making a serious mistake in the jungle. Like, why are you not going down into Golems? Makes absolutely no sense. Look how bot lane is playing. What do you think that Acadian is going to do next? He's obviously looking to try to make a play in bot because they're pushed up. Or maybe he's taking his right side camps. Or maybe he's trying to establish vision around the dragon. Because the dragon is pretty important, and we already talked about the fact that red side dragon takes benefit the terrain that Acadian is playing on. So why are you going into Raptors when the lane doesn't do anything for us? Like, very easily, if this, again, if Syndra was pushed in, or let's say that Rumble was pushed in, okay? And bot lane wasn't in any situation to get ganked, then you do Raptors. But because bot lane is being played out like this, and the fact that Rumble isn't even in the lane, get the hell off of Raptors, go down into Golems, defend this, and then path back to your left side jungle. What this also does is it allows you to get efficient. First of all, he's not even efficiently clearing because he ended up taking fucking like Raptors and then cleaned on the left hand. He cleared his jungle on the left hand side without even taking the Golem camp. But that's whatever, I guess. But what this does is if you end up going like this, take or simply defend, fight. Okay, we defend. If not fight, okay, we do this. We path down into Raptors. And this route that I'm drawing out here is very efficient for Tyler1. If he ends up doing a route like this, and this play ends up passing by him, he now has camps here, and he has his blues coming up, and he has camps here. So then he ends up splitting himself two-way inside of the jungle. This is just bad. So, yep, pretty bad clear here by Tyler1. Ends up running down to the right side jungle, actually finally, after realizing that play is happening, and Acadian is just, you know, playing the jungle better than Tyler1 is right now, in my opinion. And it seems like Tyler1 just ends up dying. And now the game is really not turned around because Rumble ends up coming in and saving the day. Yep, we're now zooming into Buzz Lightyear's death animation to really show the viewers that he fucked up, I guess. I don't know who's like, I don't even know what this is. Okay, we're doing blue buff. We don't even hand off blue buff. Great. But not that it matters. It is Rumble. I guess it's fine. Not that it matters. Again, doing this kit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Teemo is pushing up. Why are you doing your... Okay. I don't know what that is. Let's turn that down. Teemo is pushing up. Acadian's on the left-hand side. We know that Acadian's on the left-hand side because Dragon isn't taken. And we have so much vision. The entire right side jungle is lit up. So we know when Acadian is doing Dragon. Which means that, why don't we just do... First of all, again, we're wasting blue buff duration. I don't know why. Why don't we just do Wolves? Because the game is right now quiet. And what I mean by that, there's downtime in the game. You do Wolves. You can maybe do blue. Maybe you can hand off blue to Teemo. Maybe you can take it yourself. I don't give a shit. And then as Teemo ends up shoving, which it will, because of the fact that this wave is pushing outwards, we do this. Because then Acadian can hit top lane. And Maokai has a very good setup. So he ends up clearing out Gromp. Maokai actually doesn't even end up showing up in lane, so it ends up working out, but Tyler1 just not reading certain situations, and it seems like all of the momentum inside of the game is shifted to the right-hand side of the match. So we're just playing for Dragon, but the more they try to force this, the better it is for Acadian's team, mainly because of the fact that the terrain allows them to just kind of do Dragon, and yep, they rush Drake here, which is pretty good play here, I guess, because it seems like John were recalled. And mid gets solo killed. Holy shit. And now, unfortunately, nothing ends up being... Yep, Tyler1's team actually... Like, I mean, the game's over now. I think Tyler1's team just wins. Yep, if Acadian go... Yep, okay, yeah, that's over. Tyler1 pretty much just wins the game off this at this point. So, yes, I'm going to assume he won the game here. Tyler1 beat Acadian, but he's not jungling well. Right? This is the takeaway here. Acadian is the better jungler in this case, but it works out. Right? This is the same scenario where I watched the Dom1 top laner take on TF Blade, and throughout the match, sure, TF Blade could have gotten a solo kill on the Dom1 top laner, although he didn't. He ended up messing up, whatever. It didn't matter because the Dom1 top laner was just playing better than TF Blade from levels 1 to 7. Or levels, I don't know how long I reviewed it for, like maybe like levels 1 to 4. And so the top laner for Dom1 is better, even if TF Blade ended up getting a solo kill. It doesn't necessarily matter. It's like kind of in football, right? When I say football, I mean like soccer, right? Where you would have one team that ends up scoring a goal, right? Like Team A would score a goal, but when you look at the possession or you look at the stats, you're gonna notice that, you know, Team B actually had 70% possession. So then you ask yourself, who is the better team here? Right? Yes, Team B ended up conceding, or, yeah, because, you know, Team A got a goal, but in the long run, if you play it out multiple times, the higher possession team should be better than the lower possession team, and this is kind of the same concept here in the jungle, even though it was very slightly, like, explained because of the fact that, the laners just didn't really benefit from the ganks, and then on top of that, Acadian and Tyler1 simply just, you know, they kept Acadian and Tyler1 just kept full clearing until something ended up going wrong. But Tyler1 doesn't play with his lanes. He doesn't actually clear according to his lanes. The objective takes are like they fucking make no sense sometimes. Then Acadian ends up also misplaying here and there, but all in all, I think Acadian played it a lot better than Tyler1 would have. Okay. All right. That's it for the Tier 1.